Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tips and Gist YouTube. This is a classroom and sometimes a podcast. Today is going to be a mixture of classroom and podcast section. We are meeting Ghana nurses and midwives, especially unemployed nurses and midwives. In Ghana, national service personnel and then students, especially final year students, to address an issue about unemployment, backlogs in Ghana, and the way forward, how you guys can migrate from that problem to other countries like UK, US, Canada, Australia, Ireland, Germany, to practice over there. Because if you cannot solve a problem, you have to find alternative. And that is why we are gathered here today. I am streaming only on YouTube and then taking the feed on TikTok as well to alert people. And I'm encouraging everybody on TikTok listening to me to come here on YouTube, leave your comment, and then I'm going to read your comments. For the sake of new people, I know a lot of you guys heard the messages across because you guys shared the information. And so people are new here on this platform. So let me take the opportunity to introduce this platform, introduce myself, and then we take it from there. So Tips and Gist is purely educational platform. We deal with immigration information, immigration updates, and opportunities. I am a researcher into immigration updates and opportunities to help the Ghanaian community to migrate. I've been doing this for about closer to 2 years. I deal with Canada, UK, US, Australia, Luxembourg, Germany, Schengen areas, and currently I am researching into Dubai. And so this is not the first time I'm doing this. I've actually taught how to register with the UK NMC. I've taught teachers how to register with UK for the QTS. I did that in 2023. And then I have also taught visa applications across UK, US, Canada, Germany. I have taught how to search for jobs for UK, US, and then, UK and Canada. And I have taught how to search for schools and in UK, US, and Canada. I have also taught how to write documents like CV, resume, cover letters, supporting documents, statement of purpose for school, personal statement for school, and then writing letter of explanation for visa applications. I have also taught how to book hotel, how to book flight, how to book reserve tourist attraction centers, how to book conferences for your itineraries during a visitor visa or tourist visa application. Today, I am here to help my Ghana nurses and midwives, how they can migrate. Because I was once a nurse in Ghana. Let me introduce myself properly. People know me to be Tips and Gist, but I'm meeting my colleague nurses and midwives here. So I am Elijah Nanaya Okonedu. I had my secondary education in Konongo Dumasi Senior High School in the Ashanti region, and I went to Methodist University to pursue my nursing, worked with Holy Family Hospital during my national service, and then did a voluntary service after my national service with that same hospital. And then I was posted to that same hospital where I worked with them at the emergency department as a resuscitation and triage nurse. And then during COVID-19, I joined the COVID team. I joined a group of people, selected people from various departments, the in charges from various departments, the emergency in charges, ICU in charges, medical ward in charges, surgical ward in charges, OPD in charges, and then labor ward ops and gynae in charges to form a team called the COVID team, where we took care of COVID patients that we diagnosed in the hospital and then referral cases from the region. And so I was in the COVID unit for some time. And then 2022, I came back to the emergency when the COVID cases went down. And then the hospital recognized my dedication and hard work. And so they sponsored me to do emergency nursing in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And then when I was schooling over there, I had a chance to come and continue here in England. I schooled in University of Sunderland, England, UK. And currently I'm a graduate working here in the UK. So that is about myself. I am not a travel and tour agent. I am somebody helping the Ghanaian community to migrate. And so if you are here I want you to take everything that we come to discuss serious, because you will not send me a message to take you to abroad. I will not mind you. If you start a process and you have any inquiries, you can send me an email. Other than that, you don't send me a message to take you abroad, because I am not a travel and tour agent, right? Okay. Now, I happen to get experience both at the educational side and the work side from these two countries, Ghana, because I schooled in Ghana, I schooled here, and then I've worked in both countries. And so I have much experience in the classroom side and also the work field. And so when it comes to nursing and midwifery across Ghana and the UK, to be precise, I think I know more about that. And me being an immigration researcher, researching into immigration, I know a lot when it comes to visas and other stuffs. And so it is a transfer of knowledge that we're going to apply today. All right. Before I go to the aim of this discussion, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge people right here on YouTube. I can see Ameya saying, Tips, you are the best. Nana Kwesi is also here saying, Good afternoon, Tips. God bless you. Nana Kwesi is a good evening here right in the UK. Kweku is saying that I trust you doing well. I'm fine. Stephen is saying that good afternoon, Abusia. Yeah, train with the dende. Minia Mewahase. Alfred is also greeting me. Joshua is here. Francis is also there, saying, God bless you for everything you've been doing for us. But I'll start my soon the process to travel. All right. Amy is also here greeting me. Joshua is here. Robert is here. Hannah is here. Esther is here. Kenneth is here. And then George is also here. Aisha is here. A lot of you guys, in fact, I cannot mention all of you. We need to proceed because of time. In fact, I cannot, but you can see all of you. Your messages are being displayed on the screen. All right, let us proceed. I cannot. Why should you travel? Why should you migrate from Ghana? I see a lot of people always sending me emails. And sometimes when I get to platforms with people advocating for Ghana, last time I had a banter between Raf, you know, that guy, Fix the Country, that Raf guy. I met him on one platform and there was a heated argument. People don't understand why I should motivate people to travel, because they feel like I should encourage them to stay in Ghana and then build Ghana. But I always say that migration is part of every country's development. UK, US, Canada, everybody, they migrate. Britain came to Ghana to colonize Ghana. It was a form of migration. They came to pick something from Ghana, got it, and then they came back to develop their country. Now, our country, Ghana, whether we migrate or not, it is as it is. So it is high time people, some of us can migrate, come and then experience and then bring back home whatever we got. And so migration is also part of country building. Now, there are certain problems that if you are not high in the political aspect, you cannot solve it, like unemployment. Right now, if Ghana as a country, Ghana goes for IMF loan, and then IMF is saying that, hey, president, don't post nurses. This is beyond tips and just I cannot solve that unemployment because it is an instruction from IMF. The whole parliament decided to second that motion, and then they go for their contract or any loan, and then they say don't post nurses. What can I do? And he told me that I should stay in Ghana and solve this problem. This problem is beyond me. I cannot solve it. If they are not posting nurses, what we can do is to demonstrate. And do they listen to us? No. That is why I told you guys that today, put your politics aside, because at the end of the day, you vote. 7th December, you're going to vote. But whoever come to power is not going to solve this problem for you. They are going to post some of those in the house, but still, those going to complete national service, those currently in school will also finish school and then also stay home. It is not something that it is going to solve immediately. And so now we need immediate solutions. Why do we need immediate solutions? One, the people in the house who are unemployed are also citizens of Ghana. Now, politicians are employed, taking monthly salary. These people are in the house and then they are unemployed. How do they feed? How do they rent? They need immediate solution, not to vote for a political party who will come and then will say that I need 2 years to appoint ministers. And then after that 2 years, they decide to now post a certain batch. I heard that they are posting the 2020 batch, only to realize that they even posted some, and then the second batch of 2020, they ignored those people. So they have to wait, new government to come, appoint ministers within a year, and then maybe the second year or third year before they post 2020. And when are they going to post 21, 22 coming? And so you see, it is not something that is going to solve immediately. They are going to solve it, but it is going to take about 10 years or something. And then we need people. People are in the house looking for job. They are unemployed. They need a solution. They need to feed. They need to take care of their children. You see, life, day in and daytime, we are growing. There is no a single day that life will tell you that, oh, you're not employed, so you are 26 years. Let me pause. When the government employ you, then I continue from 27. No. So if you are 26 years and then you have to stay in the house for 4 years, by the time they employ you, you are already 30 years. It's a waste of 4 years. If you are employed, you'll be saving towards your life, because you make case, you make a home, a family, you need to take care of them. So if you are not employed now to make your home, when are you going to start saving? So you see, that no job is an issue. And then apart from that, the dangerous aspect, now the no job is, the effect is only on the person who is unemployed, and sometimes transferred to their family if their family is dependent on the unemployed graduate. But on the mass effect on the whole Ghana is lack of skills. You cannot train a nurse to stay in the house for 4 years and then you employ the nurse. Last time I was having a discussion with somebody, and the person said, tips, but people come to the UK, they do care job. They were nurses in Ghana, they stop the nursing, they do care job, and then later they will be accepted into the UK register, and then they'll start working. I was like, look, listen, that is why when you come to the UK and you're doing care job, because before UK will accept you into their register, they'll make sure that you've written your CBT, your OSCE, and the English. They will not say that, oh, you were a nurse in Ghana, you've come to the UK for 4 years, so come and take your nursing uniform and start working. No, they will let you write their licensing exams, and that is the CBT and the OSCE. But in Ghana, it is the opposite. The person has already written the license way back 4 years ago, and then will come home, forget everything, will not write any license again, only for them to come and say, we've given you financial clearance, come and then start working. So the 2020 batch that now they are posting them, what exams are they going to do again? They've started working. So what are they going to do? High mortality rate, because they've forgotten whatever they learned. That is the gospel truth. And this is why the ministers and other people, when they are sick, they come to the UK, US for healthcare. And who are those in the UK? When you come to the UK NHS, it is all about immigrant people from Africa, people from India who are in the NHS. And this is the hospitals that our people come to attend. So we are capable of taking care of them when they come to the UK. And we were the same people in Ghana. But when they are sick, why don't they stay in Ghana? But they move to UK for healthcare. And when they come, it is immigrants who are in the NHS taking care of them. And they feel safe, they feel happy. They are same African people that they treated them bad. They come to meet them abroad, and then we take care of them, and they're happy they come back home. So, but they cannot fix what is in the house. And so 4 years' time, you know why they come here? Because they know that the UK register will make sure that you have to pass your OSCE, pass your CBT, and as soon as you pass, they will let you enter the system and you start working. When you enter the register, you cannot stay home for 2 years and say, I've come back. You will need to rewrite an exams, or you need to do some courses before you can. You cannot say, I am a nurse, I've gone to stay somewhere idle, 2 years without working. But in Ghana, people are staying in the house for 4 years before you employ them, and you tell me that this is not a major concern. Apart from you giving them employment, this is even a major concern that they have to even raise in Parliament. And what did they do? Parliament is also doing majority and minority. We've locked the door. I've locked the door. I'm in my farm. You see, that is the Speaker of Parliament who say that I've locked the door. I'm in my farm. I'm doing my cucumber farm, watermelon farm. And this is a country that we are living in. Because MPP for the NDC for some the majority. And you see, and when people are in the house losing their skills and experience, and then later, because of politics, when it is pending for election, then you give a portion of clearance, and then they campaign. And these people, skills bear no more, they've stayed in the house for 4 good years. Almost actual licensing exams. No. Anatomy, upaye for mon classes or monsanya anatomy, or monsanya medicine surgery near the day. Neshe max or mubicha. Refini na, but omo necessary omokoye juma. And then what I'm scared is my mom will go there because when my mom is sick, she's still in Ghana. So next in now I could Praga 4 years now you're posting, One na okochicheme ma mensa. So if I'm not concerned, then I should not I'm not somebody I'm enjoying. But Odria, you should be concerned. You should be concerned about this. Next is a more fear. You better try more lucy or more value and send your post. And people will say that, but they are able to work. Whatever they are doing after posting them, whatever they are doing is just like on the job training. On the job training, like you picking somebody right from SHS and then training the person. Chechere BP, Faboneha, Nemia, Umianwaka, figure naturally me. Size diastolic is systolic is say, a question, a co, a kind of say either normal or abnormal. But what is causing the abnormality? They don't know. The physiology behind, they don't know. They don't understand the anatomy, the physiology behind. Oma Edra, the pharmacodynamics, kinetics, they almost finishing. So, and once when about 2 p.m., oh, metronidazole 500, make or administer, they feed the reactions, side effects, near that dinner. And to acquire just employer or but they are going to do on the job training. They don't really understand whatever they are doing. Obviously, why they are even doing a particular procedure as such a timer, they cannot explain properly because they read fee and not because they were not taught to, they were taught that when we see this is a reaction, this is a medication reaction, my transfusion, cancer, blood transfusion, then the panic stopping or quitting. You see, they've forgotten everything. And this is Mother Ghana. And this is my major concern. Now, what is the solution? I always tell people that at the time I was telling Ralph, say, you are doing your own campaigning for Ghana, face the country, and I'm also doing my own. Now, I am finding solution to my problem. I realize that I'm not a politician. I cannot post nurses. Even if I have done a lot of videos to tell the president of Ghana to post nurses, but so I cannot. But I can help people to migrate because I have been able to research enough, gather knowledge and information that can help people to migrate. And that is your concern. No, that shouldn't be your concern because that is my solution. If plan A, plan B, anke ya posti wo mo a na empo mo salary na enye fia na omo je no nka omo je mpo a anka enye how because they are maintaining their skills and experience but they are in the house losing their skills and experience. And this is a major concern. This is a major concern. And that is why we are here. So we have already identified the problem and then we are looking at the solutions. Now, apart from that, even poor salary, look at the work conditions in Ghana. You go to a ward and common PPE, you don't have. PPE, you don't have. Okoshe gloves, they will tell you, say, in charge of Juma or coffee, I know where you back 94, but I'm from 94. Say, best sense, we yato. Until what's a management cross infections, and I so. Yeah, improvise. That is it. And politicians and may say, or maybe on prioritize the health sector. So, minor into me, Emma. If you come to the UK, no policy or mobile aligning or monka about the health sector. Because NPP and this campaign. So more air can but the more campaign, but any more policies anymore to better the health sector. But caution more campaign. Obia and in fact, this professional a be mutual uniform, edit campaign. Oh, a teacher for a uniform, edit campaign. Chida. Ubon's be uniform and a police for ya diploma say or monko ya can say or monko mo by. But you see nurses and midwives in their uniforms out of a campaign. I'm not saying say don't do politics, but mom you're saying you need that is why I'm they don't care. But remember, say your NMC is autonomous. The NMC issue a license are binding him horse. NMC is an autonomous regulation. Obetimajo license. Obetimajo license at any time. Abra bino crentiment cache. But I didn't know my politicians decide my. I am more refusal because we NMC free word, the other associations, they are all into politics. JRNM for one when the Omunina politicians fan. Omunina will be on a party or joining to say, will be what NPP now or GRN or a president nabi because want to me meka. Want to me meka because the party now also can't better any party. Will be anywhere bold to say it. Nti de be am ka say sa associations na mutua sika mo no mo collapse ni nyina na sa 50 cedis no mo fa nkoto light because sa 50 cedis na yetem every month no fa so bi ani so mungu ni nyina because those people no mo nyina politicians nkwa bad work conditions ukọ adwuma opipi won police ni a oni gloves you can say oni etuoda what the upper catch police say armed robbers wa say onko oni tu onko face armed robbers obeka catch say ontumi nko face but wo no glove ni ho nipa na by also ball line etimi do be emergency pin abeyi na to na afi mu chiri pe gloves we mo ma me gloves I was do won na wo because obi gira nche ma me nurse nti wo hu no hu ye unya gloves nso wo hyew say hwe no without your PP but obi ntimi hye police ni say onko hia an robbers abra ni tuo ni nchen but wo no ye be hyew say hwe nipa no with or without gloves. This is telling you how delicate your job is. So why do you let politicians decide for you? Ye beto aba na ye de ma hye campaign song mu monko hye NDC for campaign song nurse if we what is all teachers wo what is all police wo because they need you people. They need you people. Go and look at the other party, NPP, also campaigning. Go and look at their pictures. You see, they'll go for campaign and then you see this nursing uniform, and I pity nurses. When it's pending election year, then they'll release allowance. You see, they know that you people have influence in election. If they don't convince you people, you not vote. But why is it that when they come to power, they and you demonstrate, they don't mind you guys. The time now more for me, unemployment nursing association said na demonstration. Didn't they recognize you guys? I didn't think I able do election there or more recognize him. Yen fancy or a word to a wise is enough. I am not convincing anybody to travel, but I am convincing you to realize the state you are in. That I'm a president abako, you will never take 10,000 Ghana cedis. You do your degree, you do your masters. Some people are even ministers, not having masters. They are degree holders, but they are taking more than 30,000 Ghana cedis a month. That politician is taking more than 30,000. You are also having your degree, equivalent to only degree. Go and research programs that is difficult to learn, and then you will know that nursing is difficult than coding. I was telling somebody the other time, or again, I'm saying, Google, nursing and coding, computer coding, ICT coding, which one is difficult to learn? And then Ombeka said nursing. When you are learning your anatomy, you need to, if the bones, 206 bones in the body, you need to know to know your muscles, your tissues, your everything. Oh, yeah. What's a pharmacology? Why? Because if the doctor and the pharmacist they mess up, you have to rectify the mistake. So even something that is not part of you, you have to also learn it because you are administering the medication. You have to know the pharmacology of it. Apart from yours is supposed to be that your basic nursing and advanced nursing. That is yours. But why do you do the medicine, the surgery? Because you are also supposed to know the anatomy of the body, so that even if there's something you recognize it. But there are doctors over there, the other people. Why do you learn this? This is telling you that your profession is very, very noble, but they don't recognize you guys. They don't recognize you guys until you travel and then you recognize your work, how worthy you are. You will never know how worthy you are. I always tell people, if you are a nurse, you're a midwife, you are blessed. You people, when you travel, you get to know that yes, you are really blessed. Who's your doctor there? Eshiya pharmacist na dia ka ho. Eshiya bibia. When your mental health and so kwankafo ekoye mental health affiliation. Bibia bi. A word to a wise is enough. Now, how do you travel? Start school. And those mamofia munyejuma. How do you travel? Now, with my immigration research, experience in immigration research, 4 major ways you can travel right now, or you can migrate to any country of your choice. It's one, through school. It's either you come to continue with your education. If you are having a degree, you can come and do your master's. If you're having a master's, you can do your PhD or a second master's. If you're having a diploma, you can also come and do a degree. You can also do a degree. All right. So school, those with certificate, then you have to do a 3-year or 4-year degree. So if you're having certificate in nursing, sometimes you have to consider your secondary school level and then use that as a point of entry. And so you have to school the whole degree. But those with diploma can do a 1-year top up to get a degree in nursing, especially here in the UK. And then those with a degree can also do 1-year top up to get their masters. So that is how it works here in the UK. You can also migrate to work directly. So that is when you search for jobs and then you get a visa sponsorship. And that is what we're coming to discuss today. So we're coming to discuss how you can search for the jobs. You need to get a license in that country before you can search for their jobs. And that is why we are here. So I told you that we're going to discuss UK, US, Canada, Australia, Ireland, and Germany. But today we are going to focus on the UK. And then later we continue with the other countries. So you can also migrate through the work route. And then we have the marriage. Most of you guys will be will be married to people abroad. So some people are having their boyfriends, their husbands in the UK, US, Canada, and then they can just come and pick you through the family route. So through marriage, you can also migrate. There are a lot of nurses here in the UK who didn't come through work or school, but they were married and then they came here. They joined their husband here. So they can also practice here. So you can also travel after school, or currently you can also travel if you are married to a partner abroad. And then you can also migrate through visit, but I wouldn't advise visit because a visitor visa does not guarantee you to be employed in certain countries like the UK, US, and other countries. So please let the visit be your last option. Now let us focus. If you want the school, um, one a school like University of Sunderland, it is very affordable for you guys. Yes, one of the cheapest schools with a low tuition fee here in the UK. They do medicine, they do nursing, they do um, paramedics. They do a lot of health related programs in that school. And so, and their fees is also affordable. If you are a nurse, you can do the top up. If you're already having a diploma, you can do the top up and get a degree. If you're having a degree, you can do a top up to get your master's. And then if you're having a certificate, at first, they used to recognize certificate in nursing the 2 years to help them do 1 year to get a degree. But they canceled it. I don't know for what reason, whether they were not performing well or anything. I don't know. But now they only accept the diplomas to come and do the degree. So if you are having a certificate in nursing, then you have to come and do 3 years. 3 years. So that one you have to get money, you understand, to pay your tuition fees, or you have to come with a scholarship on a scholarship. So let us focus on the work. Those who are interested in Canada schools, US schools, I will encourage you guys to follow platforms like the Freddy Fit. The Freddy Fit. He is on YouTube and on Facebook and on TikTok as well. And then you can also follow Peter Bewa is also doing marvelous in terms of school. So you can get the school knowledge and then you select a program in nursing and then can go and pursue. I recommend people not you to go them for them to charge you. I don't do that. So when I recommend somebody, it is because I've seen something on their social media that I know that when you go and learn it on their platform, it will help you. I don't know what they do behind the scenes. So I'm not recommending those people behind the scenes. I will never do that. I have never promoted any travel and tour agency. No, I am recommending their platforms based on what they post on their platforms. So go and watch what they post on their platforms, not to go and deal with them backdoors for any exchange of money or any transactions. No, I don't do that. All right. Now let us pick the work. Now with the work, we have to consider either to work in your profession or you can do any skilled work. Example is let's shrink to the UK, okay, so that this discussion is going to be effective. Let's go to the UK. If you want to come to the UK to work, it is either you are coming to practice as a qualified midwife or a nurse, or you are coming maybe with a care visa, come and do a care job and later upgrade and do your nursing. So it's either you come through the professional route or the other skilled work route. So if you're coming under the professional route, that is when you will need a license, UK NMC license. And so this evening, I'll recommend you come through the nursing route. your professional route. So we are going to discuss how you can prepare yourself towards the UK NMC registration, get your license, and then apply jobs that is in your field. Apply for a nursing role, a midwifery role, instead of applying for a healthcare assistant. People choose that aspect, but when they come to the UK, they will still have to go through the same process by writing their CBT OSCE here in the UK, everything. So it becomes a headache for them because of the stress here, working conditions. You go to work, you come, you're tired, and a whole lot. And so they are not able to study to go and write the OSCE. So if you learn it in the house, it's really going to help you. All right. So let's focus to the profession side. I will encourage you guys to start jotting some points down. Now, I've talked about your license. You need to register with the UK NMC. Now, the UK NMC is somehow equivalent to the Ghana NMC. So, in Ghana, right after school, you are supposed to write your licensure exams. And if you don't pass, the university will be done with you. Every training college in Ghana is affiliated to a university. And that is why, even after your licensure, some of you go to KNUST to write your university exams. And then those who completed university do write their university exams. So the university will be done with you, but you will still be writing your licensure. This is telling you that the nursing is academic and professional. So it's two things that you combine in, right? So the UK NMC is like the Ghana NMC. So without the license in Ghana, you cannot get the license in the UK. Then you have to come and school here throughout for 3 years or 4 years for your degree. So even those coming to do a top up in nursing, they are not recruited directly into the UK NMC register. They will still have to write their CBT and OSCE after school. If you come and do a 1-year top up, those coming to do a 1-year masters is the same thing, except the 2 years masters. There's a program, a 2 years masters. That one, you can be registered. It's you get your OSCE done and everything, so you don't need to write the OSCE. So except that 2 years masters, but 1-year masters, 1-year degree, you don't qualify for NMC. You still have to write your OSCE and the CBT. So because you have a license in Ghana already, you are not instructed to go back to school for 3 years. No, you can convert your Ghana registration to the UK standard. And that is when UK will ask you to write certain exams for them to assess you to know that really you did qualified for your Ghana register. And so you qualify for the UK register. And then we'll get back to that. We have the NHS here in the UK. Whenever I mention NHS, it's similar to GHS, Ghana Health Service. Here in the UK, we say National Health Service, the NHS. So after you qualifying as a registered nurse or midwife, it is your decision to enter the NHS. That is, you enter the government side. So it is being regulated by the government. It's just like somebody completing nursing training and then being posted by the government. So you enter into the government, and Ghana, we say GHS, Ghana Health Service. You can also decide to enter other care homes. So if you come to private care homes right here in the UK, we have the nursing home, and then we have nurses and midwives in that nursing home. So they are also qualified, registered with UK NMC, but they are not in the NHS. They are also working for private care homes. So you can opt to apply your jobs to a nursing care home in the UK as a private, or enter the NHS, whatever will be easier for you. When we get to the job application aspect, I'll explain more into that. So these are some of the terms that I'll be using. Now, how do you convert your Ghana license to the UK standard? You have to first graduate. That is your academic level. I told you. So if you don't have a university certificate, you need to get one. When I say university certificate, whether a diploma, a 2-year certificate, a degree, these are all some university programs. Because in Ghana, they say training college. If you go outside, they are all done under universities, whether a diploma or something, they do it under university. So we call it some university programs. So you have to be academically, you have to graduate and get a degree or a diploma or a certificate. That is your first requirement. Then you also have to pass your licensing. So the licensure exams organized by the Ghana NMC, you need to pass and get your PIN. If you get your PIN as a registered nurse midwife in Ghana, then you can now convert it. All right. Now, the UK NMC registration, we have different types. We have the NMC, you can register as a midwife. So all midwives in Ghana do register with the UKNMC as a midwife. Then nurses in Ghana, whether general nurse, psychiatric nurse, public health nurse, those specialties, if you've done emergency nursing, critical care, perioperative nursing, anesthesia, all those people, you also register as RN. Now, the register for RN, the registered nurses here in the UK, is grouped into 4. We have the adult nursing, the children nursing, we have the mental health nursing, and then the learning disability nursing. Now, learning disability is not common in Ghana. So people do specialize into the adult nursing, mental health, and children nursing. The adult nursing will be okay for all general nurses in Ghana, public health nurses in Ghana, and those who did general nursing and then proceeded to do specialties, you can all register as adult nurses. Mental health nurses is okay for psychiatric nurses in Ghana. Yes. Now, children nursing, I would not encourage you, even if you are working at the pediatric ward, I'll not encourage you to register. I will only encourage people who, how do we call it? Pediatric nurse, somebody who is now into the pediatric nursing. The person can register as a children nurse because the aspect of nursing you choose on the register is having its CBT, a separate CBT. So the CBT exams we write as nurses. Adult nursing are having their own CBT exams. Psychiatric nurses, the mental health nursing, if you choose, you have your different questions. If you choose children nursing, your CBT questions is going to be based on children. And don't forget that here in the UK, their way of scrutinizing is very, very difficult. If they ask you questions about children and you're not able to answer, you don't qualify because nobody will leave their child in your care. So if you are going to choose the register as a children nurse, you have to be somebody. I will encourage people who are into pediatric nursing in Ghana to go for that. If you are just working in the children's ward, pediatric ward, and you think that, oh, I've seen children nursing, then you have to be very careful because your CBT exams is going to be questions about pediatric nursing. So if you cannot answer, you're going to find yourself wanting. Note that. All right. Now, 2-year programs in Ghana, certificate nurses, whether preventive, clinical, how do you call it, NAC, or I don't know the names. Is it NAC or the 2 years? Yes, the 2 years. You all register as nursing associate. Now, the link to register with the UK NMC is embedded right on this live session on YouTube. So if you click on the caption, the title of this video, you're going to see about 8 links to different websites. One is to the NMC registration. So after this live discussion, you click on it and then you go and look at what I'm talking about. But I'm going to display it on the screen for you guys to see. So this is the UK NMC website. If you are on TikTok, I will encourage you to come right on YouTube to experience the website so that you don't send me an email tips. I was not able to register because I am not going to respond to your email. I am teaching it right here. All right. So this is the register. Now, when you come here, let me show you something over here. Go back. Yes. So you either register as a nurse or a midwife. So if you click this aspect, this is where you're going to see the 5 categories. That is the 4 nursing and the midwifery. So you have midwifery and then the 4 different types of nursing. And then you see on your right-hand side, we have a separate link for nursing associate. So they also register with the UKNMC as a nursing associate. Now, somebody will ask me, is it the same as nursing assistant? According to the NHS, a nursing associate is like a nursing assistant. But according to the UKVI, the immigration, when I take you into the immigration aspect, it is different. When you get to your COS, nursing assistant or auxiliary nurses is a band 3, and that is what we call the care job, the healthcare assistant. Now, when you come in to do a healthcare assistant in the UK or a care job, that is what you call it. Those people who came with the care job and didn't get jobs to do, they didn't go to the NHS, they came to the care homes, and their COS, the SOC on their COS at that time was 6145, 6146, and then I'm taking you to a bit of immigration. You know, I deal with immigration. So those of you guys who are new, we are moving from the nursing aspect to a bit of immigration. So pardon me. If you don't understand some of the terms, just listen to it. So the SOC on their COS was 6145 and then 6146. And then April, when they changed from the shortage occupation list to the immigration salary list, it is now 6135 and then 6136. And these categories cannot bring their dependent, that is their husband and then or your wife and kids. You cannot bring them. You come alone because they canceled dependent from those visa categories. But there's also another healthcare assistant. These people go to the NHS to assist nurses. So they call them the nursing assistant, but actually their duties are the same as the carers in the care homes. So they are healthcare assistants, but they are termed as auxiliary nurses and assistants. And they are the band 2, band 3 in the NHS. And their COS, the SOC on their COS is 6131. And that COS, when you get it, you can bring your dependent. You can bring your wife, your children, if you're a man. If you're a lady, too, you can bring your husband and your kids. So the same care job, but somebody can bring their dependent. Somebody cannot bring, depending on that, where you do your application. But I'm telling you, if you are in Ghana and then you want to go straight into the NHS through the care route, that is the healthcare assistant, also known as the nursing assistant, the band 2, band 3, then you need to do something we call the NVQ, the National Vocational Qualification. And then because you have your nursing certificate, I've taught how you can convert your certificate to NVQ so that you don't go and learn it and pay £900 for that classes. That's 6 months or 9 months classes. No, you just convert it. But even with that, after the conversion, because you are in Ghana, it's still difficult to penetrate because some of the NHS websites, they do request people here in the UK. So if you are fully qualified nurse, I believe that is going to help you. So let's forget about that care aspect. The 6131, that is the nursing auxiliaries and assistant. Let's put that aside. Now, the nursing associate, you are band 4. You are band 4. And then your SOC is different. Your SOC is different. So you are band 4. You are different from the SOC, that is the nursing auxiliaries and assistant. So please, nursing associate is band 4, and your salary is higher than somebody doing a healthcare assistant in the NHS. You are a senior colleague. You are band 4. Then the registered nurses, the RN, they begin with a band 5. So band 5. And then midwives begin band 6. Band 6. So that is how it is. All right. Now, when you come to the NMC registration, now we know the different types. So you know where to register. So those 2 years, you all go to the nursing associates and then all the diplomas and the degree. Now, one thing about UK is if you're having a degree in Ghana, you're having a diploma in Ghana. Once you have NMC registration in Ghana, you all begin with band 5. They don't care whether you are having a degree or a diploma. You all register as adult nurse, band 5. Whether you've even done a master's, emergency nursing in Ghana, you are a how do we call it? A critical care nurse, you all begin band 5. They don't care. You all begin band 5. But however, if you start working in the NHS and then you have the opportunity to further, because you are having the academic level already there, you don't go and do another degree. You just proceed to masters. And at that time when you return, they can just promote you very fast. You understand? So it will help in promotion. Your degree that you currently having will only help in promotion, but it wouldn't help. It wouldn't mean anything when you're registering, when you're entering the register. So somebody is saying, okay, so I'm a degree, I'm in charge in my unit. I have 10 years experience in nursing. Somebody just completed national service. You all begin level 5, band 5 here in the UK. That is the gospel truth. Unless you start working here in the UK and then there's a promotion and then you can talk about that. All right, let us look at the requirement. Now, the requirement we have the requirements we have the English requirements. The, the English require. I'm not going into details how you can register. I have a separate video on YouTube. I taught you guys last year, those nurses and midwives in Ghana. I taught you, so it is right on my YouTube. So after this discussion, if you are interested, if you've written your IELTS already and then you want to start registering with the UK NMC, then you can start the process. And then that is where you come here, create an account with them, you submit your documents, your PIN and your certificates, university certificates, or the school, the certificate you completed from school, you submit it to the UK NMC, and then they will do the foreign verification with Ghana NMC for you. So you pass through the process. There is also a link that you can buy clearance. I learned that some of you guys are those who school in training colleges, you need to get a clearance from Ministry of Health. I didn't go to nursing training. I went to university straight. So I didn't have any business with Ministry of Health. I just went to NMC Ghana and then did my foreign verification. But if you trained in a training college in Ghana, then you need to get a clearance first from MOH. So I have a link embedded right here on YouTube to go and buy your clearance. And then once you clear yourself, then you can start the NMC process by registering with the UK NMC, and then you go to Ghana NMC to pay your foreign verification fee. And the UK NMC will communicate with Ghana NMC. And then after the communication is successful, the UK NMC will send you a message that they have completed the foreign verification, and then you can proceed with your CBT. All right, you can proceed with your CBT. Now, we have English requirement. I always say that this is the last phase of the NMC process, but you need to try. You need to. So people do write the IELTS or the OET first before they even register with UK NMC, but it is not needed. If you write your IELTS and you don't complete your CBT on OSCE, the IELTS will even, how do we call it, will expire. So somebody will say, okay, let me also finish my CBT and OSCE, because you can write CBT and OSCE without having your IELTS. That is the gospel truth. UK NMC requirement to register is your PIN and your university or your training college certificates. Then you start registering with them because you're already registered with Ghana NMC. They don't care about your IELTS. The IELTS will come later after you submit, you finish your CBT and the OSCE, and then they are looking at the health requirement and then English requirement. But because people are scared of the IELTS, they try to write it first to see if they can pass before they say, okay, now let me go and start my registration. And then when they are not able to complete and the IELTS expire and they start complaining, my IELTS has expired. So it is up to you. Just weigh between. Do I have to write the IELTS first, or I have to complete the CBT and OSCE before I write my IELTS? It is up to you. If you are sharp enough, you pass the IELTS, you can put that aside. But if you're not sharp enough, I will encourage you to try the English first. Now, the English test, it is into 4 categories. Those in Ghana, you can only go for two options. But those in the UK, you can go for 4 options. All the 4 options. Now, the how do we call it? Acceptable ones. The first one is you to write either the IELTS, the International English Language Test System. I have the materials, the academic materials on my Telegram group. So I have a page on Telegram that the IELTS materials is there. You can download it for free. I don't have the audio version. So what you're going to do is, if you download the materials, it's Cambridge Learning Materials. So if you look at maybe book 13, then you go on YouTube, then you enter Cambridge IELTS listening, book 13. Then you're going to see test 1 to test 4. Then you listen to them. You're going to see the answers and the questions in the book. So I don't have the audio. So the audio, you watch it on YouTube. But the reading, the listening, and the speaking instructions, I have everything right on Telegram. So you can go on my platform. I have the link on my TikTok bio. If you go on my TikTok bio, there's a link. Click on it and then download the materials and start preparation. So if you don't want the IELTS, another exams you can write to replace the IELTS is the OET, the occupational English test, or occupational, is it occupational English test or occupational English test? The OET, that one, people are saying that it is cheaper, or how do we call it? It is not difficult like the IELTS, but people do feel that one too. And one disadvantage is it's expensive. It is expensive. And you cannot easily get materials to even study. And not all IELTS, you can get IELTS classes in Ghana, but not OET classes. It's not common in Ghana, OET classes. So that is one disadvantage. But people are saying that if you're able to get the materials, able to get the money, and able to get preparations, you can easily pass the OET than the IELTS. So that one is up to you to weigh between. But I wrote IELTS. I have experience in IELTS. And so if I even learned on my own, nobody taught me. If you learn the IELTS on your own and then you are serious enough, you can pass. That is why I did a content that those in school right now in Ghana, especially the final years, start preparing, get enough preparation. I realize that people don't have enough preparation. That is why they don't pass. And when you are studying alone, it's really boring because you become tired and you're not disciplined. You need timing. And then sometimes you try to cheat on yourself. You see that the time is due. Instead of you to stop work, mark yourself down, you want to complete it. So you're not timing yourself. But if you are learning in groups, that is why people go for classes. But the classes, they are charging you monthly and you are not having money. So you only opt for 1 month classes and it's not enough for you because look at the IELTS is equivalent to the WAEC. It's a higher form of WAEC, the WASI English. So the orals is like the listening, comprehension is like the reading, then the writing is like the composition that we used to write, and the speaking, we know we've been speaking English in Ghana. So that is the components of the IELTS. And look at how many years did you prepare your English to pass your WASI? 3 years from SHS1, SHS2, SHS3 before you pass your WASI English. But you want to use 1 month to go and pass IELTS. And that is why people are not getting that score. And so it's a waste of money because IELTS is expensive. If you know you cannot write and pass, don't. And I realize why people know that they are not adequately prepared, but they will still go and pay that money because the IELTS has its marking scheme. And the materials that I have on my Telegram, the answers to the questions are there. So if you test yourself and then you know that you're not getting the required band, why should you go and write? For instance, you do the listening. After that, you score yourself, you're not getting even, you have to get 30 over 40 to score that band 7. And you're getting 25. You are failing. And somebody will mark yourself. You've marked yourself, you get 25, and you say, okay, let me go and try. There's no try over there because you are in your comfort zone in your house. You are scoring 25, and you think when you enter the exams hall under pressure, you can score more than 25. You cannot. So if you know that you are not adequately prepared, relax. There's time for everything. Just relax. Get to know that I can now pass before you go and pay that money. It's around 300 and sorry, 3,500 Ghana cedis if you are in Ghana. So it is not something that you need to joke with. And the OET is almost 8,000, 7,000 something. So if you're not prepared enough, don't go and write it. I will advise you, don't try. Keep your money for something else. You only go in when you are prepared. And so if you are in school right now, use about 6 months, prepare, start scoring. It will get to a time, if you put the earpiece and start writing your, testing yourself for listening and start answering, you should be scoring about 37, 38 over 40. In fact, if you have prepared for 4 months yourself, always listening to the audio and answering the questions, if you put any question in front of you, you should score about 35 to 40. And then you know that, okay, if I go and something, because of something, I'm able to even score at least 32. I've even gotten about 7.5. You see, so if you're not careful and you're scoring 20s, so I have a video on YouTube that will tell you the band scores and the marking and its related bands. So it will tell you that if you get 20 over 40, it is maybe band 6. If you get 25, it is. So I have a video on YouTube. You can watch that and you understand proper. All right. Now the IELTS and OET, that is the only option for you guys in Ghana. If you are here in the UK, if you don't want the IELTS or OET, then you can also go to school. You can apply for a school, but don't go and do a top up. You have to go to a nursing school for 3 years and graduate. For 3 years and graduate. And that one, they're not going to accept any IELTS because you were taught in English. But if you school for a top up, you were taught in English, but you were not taught in the clinical aspect. You were only taught in the classroom. So the taught should be a program that you go for placement, like a clinicals. So it is going to be classroom and clinicals. But if you do the top up 1 year degree or 1 year masters, they don't take you for, you don't go for placement. And so the NMC will not accept that you've schooled in the UK, and so you still have to write the IELTS. So they will not accept that school aspect. So if you see it on the portal that if you school here in the UK, you are exempted from the English. It is those who school the clinical aspect and then the classroom aspect. Apart from that, if you are here in the UK, you can also do something we call the SIFE, SIFE. That is where you go, you work in a nursing home where you are being supervised by a registered nurse. And then the registered nurse will then give you recommendation, and then you'll be exempted. So you have to work at least 1 year in a nursing home. So those doing care in the UK, you can opt for a care home that there's a nurse or a midwife, a registered nurse or a midwife, and then you work under them. Then after a year, 1 year, they can exempt you from the IELTS or the OET. That is the only option. So English is a major requirement that you cannot go. You cannot exempt that in your registration process. The next one is the test of competence. Now, test of competence, we have 2 types, and you need to complete all. And people are saying you have to write your CBT before the OSCE. No, people write their OSCE before the CBT. So there's nothing on the NMC portal that do this before this. You can go and book your CBT or you can book your OSCE. Once you are registered with the UK NMC, you can register the OSCE first, or you can do your CBT. But you know, the CBT is the learning basis, not the practicals, is the theory. And so people believe that learn the theory and then you go for the practicals. That is what people believe. So majority, about 90%, will do the CBT before the OSCE, but there's no rule of law on the NMC portal. So you need to complete your CBT and then the OSCE. Now the CBT and the OSCE, the CBT can be written in Ghana. It can be written in Ghana. And I have the CBT materials on my Telegram page. So if you go on Telegram, you can download the CBT materials. I have for the adult nursing. I don't have for the midwives, and I don't have for the nursing associates. If I get it, I will post it. But I have for the nurses, the adult nurses. So if you want CBT for mental health, I don't have it. But there is a link on the Pearson View website that you can go and do how do we call it? Is it rehearsals, or you can do your own? You can rehearse on their portal, because you'll be writing it. Is that company that is going to organize the CBT for you, the Pearson View, and they have materials on their website. So when you go there, you can get CBT for midwives and CBT for nursing associates, and also the other nurses, like the mental health and then also the children nursing. So that is for the CBT. The CBT is the computerized based test. People call it competence based. It's not competence. The test of competence is into 2. Because it is test of competence, they thought the CBT is competence. No, it's computerized based test, meaning that you'll be writing it on a computer. So computerized based test, CBT. And then the OSCE is also the other aspect of the test of competence, and that is the practical aspect. Now, we don't write the OSCE in Ghana, so you will need to come to the UK to complete your OSCE. Now, let's talk about the red list. I'm talking about the red list because now, if you're not having the OSCE, you cannot apply for a nursing job here in the UK. Now, after writing your IELTS, your CBT, you need to complete the second aspect of the competence, that is the OSCE, to be fully qualified nursing, midwives, and others. Now, let me tell you something. OSCE for nurses is different from OSCE for midwives, and OSCE for nursing is different from that of nursing associates. CBT is also the same, different from other, how do we call it, department. So you have to note that. If you don't complete your OSCE, you are not a fully qualified nurse or midwife in the UK, or nursing associate in the UK. And red list is simply means that no active recruitment. You know, about 2 years ago, somewhere, is it 2020? I think 2022 or so. About 2 years ago, Ghana was placed on active red list. Or was it 3 years or 2 years? One of them. Because World Health Organization, WHO, came to Ghana, and then they inspected the patient to nurse ratio and realized that Ghana is not employing that much. And you know, politicians will never tell the WHO that people are in the house, they are home, not employed, but they rather gave the blame to nurses migrating. And I asked myself, how many nurses travel? Look at the nurses in the house. You are not posting them. And WHO is telling you that the patient to nurse ratio is not encouraging. You can go to a ward, about 30 patients, and 2 nurses are on duty. How can they serve medication, do vital signs, write notes, and other stuff? And then they ask you, why is your patient to nurse ratio not encouraging? And you say that they are migrating. And that is why I did a video about that woman, because she could have done better. Even though people are migrating, look at the people in the house. They are not employed. And if we are talking about patient to nurse ratio, and then you are blaming it to the few people migrating, what about those who have completed? And we think that those who are working are experienced. If you think that those who are having their license, they pass their licensure, having their NMC pin, are not qualified nurses, then don't call them nurses. NMC, somebody wrote licensure, got the NMC pin, is in the house selling Tom Brown, driving Prague and others. And then you are complaining that the competent nurses are traveling. Why how do you describe your competency? Anytime I speak about this matter, I become emotional. I cannot even speak. How do you describe your competency? Somebody passed their licensure, you think that they're not competent enough to work. And so why are you not employ them to work, and then you blame few people traveling? It is because of politics. And this same government will recruit people to that country. How do we call it? I've forgotten. Oh, there's a country over there that they used to take people. And that one, they have no problem. But when people are coming to the UK, they're having problem. And that is why they put Ghana to red list. So now the red list means that there's no active recruitment. So you have to search for the jobs online yourself. There's no, at first, agencies would come to Ghana. They had recruitment agencies. They will come to Ghana. Yes, Barbados. Yeah, thank you very much. At first, agencies will come to Ghana and then recruit you guys, come to the UK, let you complete your OSCE, and then they share you to the NHS. So the NHS was not doing that. They had other agencies that were doing that. But now, because of no active recruitment, they are asking you to enter the NHS yourself. And NHS will not employ you if you are not qualified nurse. And that is why you need to finish your OSCE. And so when we get to the OSCE aspect, then you need a visit visa to come to the UK to come and complete your OSCE. And this is a headache. Now, you getting a visit visa, I will take you to the aspect of immigration again, because we are moving from the nursing to immigration again, because you need a visa. Now, after your CBT and your IELTS or the OET done in Ghana, now you need to book your OSCE in the UK and then apply for a visit visa and then come. Now, I had a message this afternoon that somebody was coming to write OSCE in September. The woman said her husband was refused. She said my partner was refused a visit visa to write his OSCE. And I said the person should join my discussion. If you are here, you need to treat yourself as a visitor. In as much as you've booked your OSCE, does not guarantee your visa. They are going to treat you as a visitor visa, because if you come and you fail the OSCE, you decide not to go again and you become illegal in the UK. You are not the first person to come to the UK who didn't go back. A lot of people come to the UK, they don't go back. And so now, no bagger wire. They will not say, oh, this is a nurse. He's come to write OSCE, she's come to write OSCE, so let's give a visa. No, they will treat you like a visit visa, like somebody coming for a tour. So put the OSCE aside and prepare yourself. Strong bank statement. I've taught how to build a strong bank statement right here on my YouTube. You can watch that video. Home ties. I've taught that. Watch those videos. Prepare yourself adequately. Otherwise, they'll refuse you. They'll refuse you the visa. So when it gets to the visit visa aspect, I have a video on visitor visa, and I taught how to build a bank statement. I have even a separate video explaining how to build a bank statement, about 1 hour discussion into details, how your pay slip, your pay should reflect in your bank statement. If you are currently not working and you want to build a bank statement, you have to go to a private hospital in Ghana or something like that, and then talk to them. And every month you give them money to pay you so that it reflects in your bank statement. And then when you come into the UK, you go for employment letter and recommendation letter, and then it will be a proof of employment. Because if you are not employed, that Ekufado is not posting me, I'm in the house, and you are hungry, they should give a visa to you to come to the UK. If you don't pass the OSCE, will you go back to Ghana? No. So they'll not give it to you. So you need to prove that you are working. Even though you are not posted here in the UK, a lot of nurses are not in the NHS. They are working in the private sector. So if you tell them that after your NMC, you were not employed by the government, but you are working with a private hospital, it makes sense. You are working. That is a strategy. You need to get a pay slip. you need to get a pay slip, start working. You need to get a pay slip. Those people coming to write the OSCE, about 90% are working currently in Ghana. And they are not my target. I'm not telling people who are working in Ghana to migrate. I will not advise you. You have to advise yourself. But people who are not employed, those doing their national service, you people, I will tell you to come, because you cannot stay in the house with no job and losing your skills. And so as for you people, because you are not working, you have to find a strategy. You have to find a strategy. So you can also watch my video when I was teaching B1, B2, American visa. I taught how to build a bank statement into details, especially those without jobs, the unemployed people. So you can go and watch that video aspect. Any visa that I have taught that contain a bank statement, go and watch it and then get knowledge about that. The more you watch my videos, the more you get more skills into that aspect. If you treat yourself very well, enough financial statement, and then strong home ties, they are going to give the visa to you because you already have your itinerary, and that is your OSCE. You book the OSCE, you're going to book either a hotel or any Airbnb as a proof of accommodation. If you have a friend, a family here, they can also give you, how do we call it? Their documents, and that you come to stay with them to pass your OSCE. So that is not a big deal. The itinerary is not the big deal, but the big deal is the home ties. The home tie is a big deal. Employment. Most of you guys are not having car. You're not having a house. So you not get it. But what you get is proof of employment. Prove it adequately. Strong bank statement, your pay slips reflecting in, and that is a proof of home tie. So when you get the visit visa to come to the UK, and please prepare now, especially those in school. I've heard that you've received your allowance. Alawaba. Say visikano otom. Na yede alawano o de koto aba. Oh, they are giving the allowance to exchange kokrumuti. O betre fie 4 years. Sikana enso 6 months kra. Save it all. Use some to write your IELTS. Use some to register with the UK NMC. And then build a bank statement. Go and open a bank account. People are listening to me. They don't have a bank account. Please build a bank account. Build a bank account. It is very, very important. If you don't have a bank account and then you're going to print a bank statement, if you have a fresh bank account, they look at it. It's like you created it because of the travel. So how can you tell them that you were working in Ghana and your bank account, you created it 6 months ago? Because if you print a bank statement, they are going to tell when you created the account with them. It is going to display at the notarized section that so and so, maybe you went to Ghana Commercial Bank. They are going to say so and so open an account with us with Ghana Commercial Bank on this date, blah, 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 with account number, blah, 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 blah. Before they are going to say, as at the time of issuing, closing balance is this, and then they state your closing balance. So if you create the account because you want to travel, sometimes they become suspicious, and that is when they try to look at it. But if you create the account now and you travel in 2 years time or 1 year time, your account is already old. So they are not really into that. So please, if you don't have a bank account, go and create one. And traveling passport. If you don't have a passport, that means you're not serious to travel. How can you start all this process without even your passport? Please do a traveling passport. Most of you guys, especially those in school and even those doing national service, about 90% or 80% are not having traveling passport. They're not having passport. Please, that is your first thing. Passport, and then bank statement. And then when you open the bank account, get an ATM card. Get an ATM card. It will help you in certain online transactions. Like if you want to pay online, if you want to pay UK NMC, you enter your bank account. How do we call it? The ATM card, whether MasterCard or Visa card, they deduct the money directly from your bank account. If you don't get those ATM, it will not help you. All right, so that is one APOA Mediamamo, and please make sure that you prepare adequately towards your NMC registration, because you know the last aspect is the OSCE, and you need to come to the UK. So the visa application is part of your NMC preparations. So as you are preparing for your NMC, preparing for the IELTS or the OET, preparing for the CBT, also prepare for your visitor visa. It is very, very important, because without it, you cannot write the OSCE to be fully qualified nurse or midwife in the UK. Now, after you come to write your OSCE, and then you pass. You complete the rest. That is when they take your IELTS, and then they take the health and character, and then other stuffs, and then professional indemnity, and then you become a fully qualified nurse. Now, when you get the PIN, when your PIN is out, now you do a job search. You search for jobs. Give me a minute. Let me do something. Let me do something. Now, job search. Before I talk about job search, let us do a little geography about UK, because the part of UK that you're going to stay, you're going to live, can also influence your future. So let us do a little geography about UK, and then we will understand the various NHS across the UK countries. Now, if you look on the screen, you can see the map of Africa. This is the map of Africa. You can see Africa is here, Ghana is here. And then on top of Africa is the whole of Europe. So that is where you see Spain, France, Italy, Germany, Poland, and the rest. Now you can see that closer to Netherlands, Belgium, and then France is a separated portion, and that is the United Kingdom. So UK is being separated from Europe because there is no land combining them. Now, UK is made up of 4 countries. We have England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and then Scotland. If you look at England, this is the whole of England. London is the capital of England and the capital of the whole of UK. When UK is combined, the 4 countries come together. London is the capital and is also the capital of England. Now, this is Wales, this aspect. This aspect is Wales. You can see the border. This aspect is Wales. This is Wales, all right? And then England is this aspect, this side where you can see the mouse, all this aspect. So you can see some of the cities in England, Birmingham, Northampton, Cambridge, Leicester is here, Derby is here, Nottingham is there, Stoke is also there, Sheffield is there, Leeds is over there, Manchester is there, Liverpool is right here, and then you'll be seeing Sunderland and Newcastle and other aspect. Now, after Newcastle, you going straight to Scotland. So Scotland is also here. So upper part of England is also Scotland. So Scotland is here, and their capital is Edinburgh. So you can see Glasgow and other stuff over there. So this is all Scotland. Scotland. All right. Now you can see Ireland also separated from UK. And there is an aspect of Ireland called the Northern Ireland, and that is also part of UK. So there's another country. Ireland is a different country from UK, but the northern part of Ireland, they said, no, we don't want to be part of Ireland. We want to join the UK. And so they are part of the UK. If you take the Ireland, the northern part of Ireland, and then you are left with the 3 countries, Scotland, Wales, and England, we call it Britain. Britain. So when we say Britain, it is England, Scotland, and then Wales. But when you add the northern part of Ireland, that is a different country to Britain, then it becomes United Kingdom. So anytime you hear UK, it means a part of another country is part of these 3 countries. So the northern part of Ireland is part of these 3 countries forming the UK. But when that one is not part, the remaining 3 countries is Britain. Britain. All right. Where is my charger? My phone is. All right. Now we know the geography of UK. So let us use the geography to know where we can search for jobs. So now, if you want to stay in England and Wales, the website is NHS England or NHS. So NHS England is Now, when I told you that NHS is National Health Service, that is, you want to work for the government. And then if you want to live in England, the website, you have to go on NHS England. There, you're going to see jobs from England and Wales only. I am doing this. I first did the geography for you to understand what we are discussing, because after you register with the UK NMC, you need to search for jobs, but people don't know where to go, which website. NHS England, I have embedded the links. NHS England is for Wales and England and Wales. And then NHS Scotland is also separate. And then northern part of Ireland, they don't call themselves NHS, but they call it the health and social jobs, health and social care jobs. I've also added their website. So if you want to stay in northern part of Ireland, it's the same UK visa. It's the same UK visa, and it's the same UK NMC. It's the same UK NMC, the same UK visa. If you want to stay in England, it's the same UK NMC, the same UK visa. So if you get UK NMC, you can choose to go anywhere in the UK to practice. Now, if you are searching for jobs, either you do it yourself or you look for a third party. I don't recommend people to go to a third party. Go to somebody to apply jobs for you, because they are going to charge you, especially those in the UK. They can take you £1,000 or £2,000 searching for jobs for you, not to get it for you, searching. Because somebody who can get a job for you, they are definitely going to sell that COS at £19,000 or £17,000 for you. But if they don't have the COS and they are doing job application, they'll be taking £1,000 or £2,000. Now, if you are in Ghana and somebody is taking you £1,000, that is 20,000 Ghana cedis. You will not get that money. You will not get that money. So I don't encourage people to go and search for jobs. However, I teach people how to search for their jobs. So if you are registering with NHS England, I've taught NHS England, so England and Wales. I've taught how to register on the track website, where you can create an account with track jobs, and then you design your CV on track website. Note, not the link to NHS jobs that I gave on my YouTube is not the same link to the track website. It's not the same link to the track website. Track is an organization that allow people to do applications on their website. But so sometimes you go on the NHS England, and as soon as you click apply, they are going to direct you to the track website to create an account over there and start your application over there. So people search for the jobs on NHS website, and then it linked them to the track website. There are some jobs, some NHS trust here in the UK who are not linked to track website. So you click on them, and then they ask you to do application directly on their website and not track. So I tell people that if you go on track website to search for jobs, you limit yourself, because there are a lot of NHS trusts who are not affiliated to track. So I don't give the track link. I give the NHS link so that you search for the jobs, and then it will lead you to track if it want you if it want to lead you to track, or it can also lead you to the NHS actual website. You understand that? NHS trust. When I say NHS trust, TRUST is the same as a district hospital or something like that, right? A hospital. So NHS trust or NHS hospital. All right. Now, that is about the jobs. So please do your own job application. I've given the websites. You can also apply jobs to organizations providing medical care to NHS. So example is a nursing home. A nursing home is definitely affiliated to UK NHS. So if the patients are sick or they need to see a GP, they convey them to the GP. All right. So they are providing care, medical services to the NHS. They need to release pressure on the NHS. So there are some private nursing homes that you can also do application to. But the issue is, are they willing to apply, give you the COS to come to the UK when you are in Ghana? If you are here in the UK and you don't need a COS, people are here. And in fact, if you are working privately, you get higher salary than somebody working in the NHS. If I'm a nurse working for a care home or an agency, I'll take higher salary than a nurse in NHS. So people don't want to work with the NHS, but NHS is more safe. NHS is more safe. If you're in a care home as a nurse, you are on your own. If something happens, you go to court on your own. But if you are in the NHS, you are being covered by your colleagues and other staff. They do monitor you and guide you. So people feel safe at the NHS, even though the salary is not up to that of the private institutions. So you can either apply jobs to the NHS or to the private institutions, and they should be able to get you a COS. I will get to the COS aspect. But then, what are some of the documents you will need during your job search? You need to prepare a UK standard CV. And I have taught that how to prepare a UK standard CV, curriculum vitae. I know you people, they don't teach you in school. I completed nursing in school. I don't know if now it is added to the curriculum, but they didn't taught us, they didn't teach us how to do a CV. They'll only post you after the government is satisfied to post you. So you don't need any CV in Ghana. But when you come to the UK, the government will not post you. You need to do application for them to issue a COS, and then you apply a visa to the government, and the government will give you the visa. That is what is happening here in the UK. So you need to do a CV. If you don't know how to do it, this is not a shame. I didn't know how to do. I came to school, I knew how to write a student CV, came to school, and when I was searching my job, my first 2 months in the UK, I didn't get any job because I didn't know how to write a UK standard CV. I was using my Ghana CV. I told you guys at the start of this conversation that I was at the COVID unit and the emergency department. So the skills and experience at the COVID unit and at the emergency department, that was what was on my CV. I administer medication, blood transfusion, taking care of COVID patient, doing blah, 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 blah. And as at that time, I was not registered with the UK NMC. So I needed a care job. And I was using that nursing experience for care. And they will not call you because you're not coming to administer transfusion over there. There's a nurse over there who is doing that. You're not going to do even blood transfusion. They barely do it at the care home. They'll take them to hospital if the patient is more sick. So what that skills that I wrote on my CV was bogus until I realized that no, I have to sit up and learn. That is why I tell people that it's not about your master's, your degree. Calm down and learn. Learn. Accept the fact that you were not taught how to do a CV. Even if you were taught how to do a CV in Ghana, it was to the Ghana standard. No teacher will teach you a UK CV in Ghana because the teacher has not even come to the UK before. So if people who have done enough research to know that these are the standards of certain countries, this is how they prepare their CV, calm down and then learn how to prepare the CV. There are certain websites optimized for that. They can tell you this website is going to help you, this software is going to help you, but you need to get the knowledge because if they put you in front of the software and then you don't know how to do it, it's just like you do nothing. For the same software, the CV I will prepare wouldn't be the same CV that you will prepare if they put you in front of the software. So you need to calm down, not to ask what is the software or whatever. You don't need the name of the software. You need to learn how to do it, and then the person teaching you will add the software to it. And so if you go on my YouTube, the videos I've talked about CV resume, the softwares are there. Every video that you watch on my YouTube, there is a link to whatever I'm discussing. So this discussion, I have about 8 different links. NHS England, Scotland, Wales. I've given you all the links to those websites. Anything that I mentioned that it is a website, I have given the links to you guys. That is one thing about tips and gist. So please, you don't need to know the link. Go and watch the video. And after getting the knowledge, oh, okay, you need a professional summary, you need skills and experience, you need educational background, you need work experience, you need this, that, and that. You get the concept of the writing before you click on the link and then go to the software. That is how we learn. All right. Another one is supporting document. When we talk about supporting document, it's like a cover letter. Canada will say a cover letter. Ghana will say application letter. So they need you to explain. Some of the NHS will tell you that about 1,500 words. Explain why you are the best candidate and explain, compare and contrast the core values of the NHS trust to what you have, the experience, because something person's specifications on the NHS trust, compare them and then see. So if you go on, what day did I teach? I think I taught cover letter the other time. Was it cover letter or something like that? I taught it the other time, and I did that discussion with you people. And I think I've taught supporting documents for UK NHS. I've taught it. Search on my YouTube. Yes, I've taught it. You go on the NHS website, maybe I want to apply job to Manchester NHS Trust. What is the trust expecting from me as a nurse? What do they want me to do? Confidentiality, they want me to do this. So they have listed it on the website. And then you compare it to what you have. And then we call something critical analysis. I was not taught in Ghana, but I was taught in UK. When I came to school in the UK, they taught me critical analysis. And that is when you write an essay between two books, two materials. All the books are good, like two different topics. And then you compare what this is lacking, what the other is lacking, and then you suggest what they should both better. And so if you have that idea, and I've used that idea to teach you guys how you can compare the experience that the NHS in the UK is expecting from you and the experience that you are having in Ghana on your CV, and then you contrast, you critically analyze, and then you tell them whatever outcome. And then you are also going to display why you are the best candidate. They should leave everybody and shortlist you. That is why people search for NHS jobs and they're like, what should you don't humble yourself to learn. This thing that I'm telling you, if I'm to teach you now, how to write a supporting documents, we should use 2 hours. 2 hours. And even that, it is because we are doing it online. Yeah, penny year, I wasn't your classroom. Near the bear 1 month, nursing training, what the anatomy, what the how many initial 1 hour. But you do a video for 2 hours, somebody will come and just watch 15 minutes and then leave. And then thinking that they can apply the job and get, and down they don't get, and they'll be like, you register even after your P, getting a job is difficult. But you go to somebody, please, I want you to apply just for me, forgetting that that person also went to a university. Some people are here in the UK, even having diploma and degree, and then they will take you £2,000, apply for job for somebody who is having masters in Ghana. And you think that they taught them job application? No school teach job application here in the UK. They were not taught. They took their time to learn it. They learned it, and they'll take your money because you are not willing to learn. We are always we like spoon feeding because the education background in Ghana, they will give the notebook to us and tell us to memorize everything and come and pour it during examination. And so if I remember in JHS, if you write a different definition from what the teacher gave to you, the teacher will mark you down because this is the definition that the teacher will give to you. But when you go on Google and you enter a definition for a particular topic, different websites will give different definitions. But in Ghana, they'll mark you down because you didn't provide what is in their marking scheme. So they have groomed us to be chew and poor. And so we are always like that. It is high time we research beyond boundaries what we are having. How do we write UK supporting document? So if I were you, I will even go on YouTube and enter how to write a proper supporting document for UK NHS, and definitely you get a content creator, if not even teaching you, will be giving you some of the ideas about it, and then you can use your own knowledge, transfer of knowledge, application of knowledge to write it. But we don't do that. You see people flooding in my DM. I need a CV. I need a cover letter. I need this. I need you to apply just for me. Hey, I got 30 minutes now. Me quit Jumao. Me running 6 days 9 shift here in the UK. 6 days 9 shift. And then my bano na maza kwa Juma mao. What you Ghana running 4 days, nobody off 3 days. Now as I be sending me. Na obetime to amekade. Me kwa night ba ko ba betime to amekade. Timinja me night no na me Juma mawana. So why don't you do it? Please. Do the job application aspect. That is why I may hammer her. Because some people will come on the internet and then encourage you to do certain things, but at the end of the day, their interest is you to come to them and they will get their share, at least to apply jobs for you or something. And I don't encourage that. Everybody is capable of doing certain things for their own selves. You are not having money. In fact, you are in Ghana unemployed for 4 years. And how can you get money, £2,000, £3,000 to give to people to apply jobs for you? Please don't subject yourself to those things. And I've seen that people are complaining that a circulating message that people can help you come to the UK, £4,000. They will apply visa for you. They will search for jobs for you. All they need is you have passed your NMC. Do you know what they do? When they take the £4,000, they apply the job and then you get interview. And then after the interview, everything, the COS and everything will get to them. Now the COS wouldn't cost them even £1,000. And so the rest of the 3,500 pound is going into their pocket, and then they will bring you to the UK and you are comfortable. But when you do everything, that 4,000 pound is about 80,000 Ghana cedis. It's money. You can use that to build a house in Ghana. So please don't subject yourself to those things. And I've heard that some of them will even not add your dependent to it. You come to the UK, they will tell you that when you come to the UK later, you bring your husband, but they will do the visa application to you for you, and then they'll add somebody as your dependent. And you come to the school, sorry, you come here in the UK and you're not even aware that somebody is even your dependent, and the person will enter UK without your knowledge. So please be careful of those tricks. If you see anything, don't fall for it. Just pass through the normal process. Come and write your OSCE, pass. Now the visit visa is 6 months, but when you're doing your itinerary, because of your living expenses here in the UK, you cannot cater for yourself for more than a month or other stuffs. You consider the timeline for your OSCE, and then you use that as the time that you leave the UK. But when you come, you can stay up to 6 months. You can stay up to 6 months. So after the OSCE, you pass the OSCE, you can still go for job fair, and you'll still be legal here. Nobody will do anything to you. You see, you've now met the conditions of your visit visa. So you can stay up to 6 months. And that 6 months, let's say you come to the UK, pass your OSCE the first month, you wait for another month or 2 months to get your PIN. So that 3 months, you have 3 months more to search for jobs here in the UK. So that time that you are waiting for you after the OSCE, the NMC will have to take time to prepare your PIN for you, about a month or so. So as you are waiting for your NMC pay, then you learn the job search, how to write supporting documents, how to do a CV, how to do this, so that when you get your PIN, you start applying jobs. And once you are here in the UK, you go for job fair, job interview, physical, face to face, job fair, and other stuff. So that by the end of your 6 months, you should be able to get an offer. Now, note, you have to go back to Ghana because you're on a visit visa. So you have to go back to Ghana. Don't overstay. If you overstay, it will cause more harm because it will affect your other visa, the work visa. If you apply for a work visa, they're going to question you. So don't overstay. Make sure that you don't stay more than the 6 months. Then you go back to Ghana if you get the job offer. If you don't get the job offer, try online. Try online, and it's really going to help you. All right. Now, if you get a job offer, you go back and then they'll issue the COS, and then you apply for the health and care worker visa, and then you come. If you're coming, you can bring your husband and your kids. If you're a man, you can bring your wife and your kids. So you come and then you stay in the UK. Let me show you something. Certain requirements about the health and care worker visa. I have embedded the link also right on YouTube. So please take note. So this is the gov.uk. If you want to apply for health and care worker visa, I have a separate video. I taught you guys how to apply a visa once you have your COS. And so you can just apply the visa without going to a travel and tour agent, and then your visa will come. Once you meet the requirement, in fact, even your COS, if there's maintenance is being catered for, you don't even need a bank statement. And you don't need to prove home ties because you are not coming back again. So you don't need any strong home ties. All you need is the requirements, the English. And once you pass your NMC, you don't write any English again. And then your TB test, you do your medicals, your police report, and other stuffs. Okay. So the health and care worker visa has its own requirement, and I've taught that separately. So please go and watch that video. And so those who can be on the health and care is a doctor, a nurse, any health professional, and then adult and social care. Okay, and some of the jobs are eligible, others are not. So if you want to know your job, they have the SOC over here. So you can see you can see this is what I was talking about. The nursing auxiliaries, the 6131. This is not, they don't have license with UK NMC. You don't need the license. This is the care job at the NHS level, 6131. But today we didn't discuss that. Today we discussed these categories, right? Nurses, midwifery nurses, that is midwives and nurses, registered community nurses, registered specialist nurses, registered nurse practitioners, mental health nurses, and then children nurses. All right. So you all have your SOC, right? You have your separate SOC. Okay. Yes. Your SOC is over there. So there is a difference between a COS and SOC. Okay. COS is certificate of sponsorship. It is the document you receive for your visa. And then the SOC is the specific occupation code, right? That is a code that will indicate that this is a nurse. So if you mention your code quickly, I know. So if somebody says, Tips, I have a COS, I said, what is your SOC? Say 6131. I know that it is a care job. And then you are coming to NHS. If you say 6135, I know it is a care job, and then you're coming to a nursing home, and I'll tell you that you can bring your dependent. So the SOC can even alert any person with immigration idea that you can bring your dependent or not. So that is what we call the SOC, the specific occupation code. All right. I think we are done with our discussion for today. And then if you have any questions, you can type it on YouTube. I'll not be picking questions on TikTok for now. I have only 24 minutes to end my live section. So please, if you have questions, you can just bring it. We've discussed a lot from the IELTS, CBT, OSCE visa applications. Visit visa, I didn't talk about visit visa because of the time. I have videos, separate videos on it. So if you have any question, you can just enter it on YouTube and then I will respond. We have 23 minutes. Let's use 20 minutes for questions and answers. And then we can use the 3 minutes to wrap up. If there's something that you needed to know that I didn't mention, you can just Kingsford is saying that thank you for enlightening us always. Yeah, so please share this video to your friends. Tell them that it's about 2 hours. They need to come and listen. I've said a lot.